Around the Table with Vickie. Just like gathering around the dinner table with loved ones and friends, we're here to share stories, insight, and inspiration.
Welcome back to another episode of Around the Table with Vickie. I'm your co-host, Chris Runk, and to my right, as always, is my mother, Vickie Runk.
Hello, everybody.
And today we are going to be discussing all things pageants. And we've referenced my mother's 501c3s in the past. And today we're going to jump in and discuss what Miss Virginia Volunteer is. And we're so excited to have two beautiful women, two incredible women join us here in the studio. One was literally at the point of recording this crowned last night.
That's right.
And we are joined by Haleigh Ryan, your new Miss Virginia Volunteer 2025.
Yay!
There she is.
I'm so excited. This has been such a whirlwind of the past 24 hours, literally crowned at 10:30, 11 p.m. last night. And here I am this afternoon filming this really cool podcast. Such a great opportunity. Thank you both for having me on. But we also are joined by a very special national title holder, Miss Volunteer America.
That's
well,
right.
I'm
Berkley
thrilled to be
Bryant
here.
over there. Yeah.
Yes. My name's Berkley, and I'm just so excited to be here in Virginia, Lynchburg, Virginia, for the Miss Virginia Volunteer pageant. It was an honor to see Haleigh Hurst crowned Miss Virginia Volunteer last night, which was such a special moment for her, but also for me to be able to know that she will be competing for my job this time next year. So I'm so excited to see who will take my crown next year as Miss Volunteer America.
Well, it is truly an honor for you girls to be sitting here with me today as well. One of the things that I want to start out by saying, because I have local listeners and then we'll have the podcast listeners, is some of you people don't know that I am the executive director of Miss Virginia Volunteer. And one of the things that drew me to the system was the difference between just being a title holder and the title holders in our organizations that literally pour into their community, their love and their intelligence and their ability to bring different organizations together and literally benefit each other by blending all of that together in some tiny communities, some larger communities. But as I've watched Miss Virginia Volunteer grow over the last 4 years now, I just love to pull up my social media and see all of our girls just in all the different parts of Virginia pouring into food banks and children's organizations and school systems and DARE programs and Youth of Virginia Speak Out programs and all the things that we're so passionate about. And now on a national level, Virginia gets to pour into St. Jude's and the Salvation Army. Haleigh, tell me, I'm so excited to ask you this question. What is your goals for the upcoming year?
Absolutely. When I was talking to the judges about why they should crown me the next Miss Virginia Volunteer, I was able to talk about my 3-step plan. So my first one is through my S.E.R.V.E initiative, Teach Next Gen, followed by increasing community outreach, and then through branding and marketing. And my S.E.R.V.E initiative, Teach Next Gen, is an education reform initiative that I started my freshman year of college. I've been able to embed over 50,000 children my national curriculum that I wrote about empathy over apathy, but life skills learning in classrooms, first and foremost. So adding those financial literacy classes into required school schedules, but also learning essential skills like how to change a tire, because I'm 21 years old and still don't know how to change a tire. And that's
I'm
great
not going to tell you how old I am, but I don't know how to change a tire either.
I'll be honest, I have no idea how to change a tire either.
We hope we're not in that situation, right?
Absolutely.
On the
I
road
hope I
as Miss
never-
Virginia Volunteer for you. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
I'll be
I
praying for you.
deeply appreciate it. But, a lot of kids don't see themselves going to college. So it's about providing those kids with those skills to be successful right outside of high school. I've been able to write 2 public policies, one over assessment-based testing instead of standardized testing, and another one of adding those required life skills courses into classrooms. So my next is increasing local outreach. The Miss Virginia Volunteer Organization has already done so much for me. I got my title a little bit late, but it's already made a huge impact on my life, and I'm really excited to spend this year really spearheading that and increasing contestant numbers for next year, but also revisiting and really reviving the DARE program in the state with the Miss Virginia Volunteer America organization. It's something that's super special to us, and I want to be able to spearhead that with all of the graduations coming up and just working with hands and grassroots in the schools. But Next to branding and marketing, I have a public relations, or I'm seeking a public relations degree with an emphasis in brand development and management. And so I'm ready to bring those skills and help bring us to the next level. I mean, Chris has done an amazing job, and the whole Runk team has done such an amazing job with our social media, but I'm ready to form some new relationships and continue to build and grow.
Do the little Haleigh touch there.
Yes.
And you can see why she was crowned last night, Christopher. My goodness.
Incredible.
I mean, in
I
5
was going
seconds.
to say the same
Yes,
thing.
Yes.
So
yes,
she's phenomenal.
yes. So as an organization and being the director of all of these girls, one of the things I love to see is a young girl come in and take the title. And then in 12 months, we are just so far beyond where we were when we sat here in the beginning. Berkley, tell us a little bit from a national perspective, and you've only had your
Sure.
title for a little over 5-6 weeks
Yes.
now. What are you seeing in the states that you're going to, and you're getting in there locally, and you're going to the pageants, and you're meeting the girls? What is the one thing that you're seeing that is the most encouraging to you right now with our system?
With Miss Volunteer America, I think we're all seeing so much growth, and it's so exciting to be a part of. And for me, as Miss Volunteer America, I've already traveled over 6,000 miles when
My
we're
goodness.
recording this in this
Yes.
moment. And hopefully by the time this airs, we'll have already traveled even more, which is really exciting too. But I've been able to visit Miss Mississippi Volunteer, Miss Georgia Volunteer, Miss Alabama Volunteer, and then finally in Miss Virginia. And with that opportunity, I've been able to see the local title holders. One of my biggest goals this year as Miss Volunteer America is really investing in our local title holders because they really are the building blocks, the foundation of this program. And if we can encourage them to see the impact that they can make personally on their communities and on their states, then I truly believe we can see an exponential growth in Miss Volunteer America nationwide. And just being able to build that personal relationship, I think that's one of the most encouraging things that I've seen is just how impactful it could be to see Miss Volunteer America in their own state. A lot of these girls may not know who she is or what Miss Volunteer America is all about, but if we can show them from a national perspective, hey, this is what we're doing with Salvation Army, this is what we're doing with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, you can be a part of that too.
Right.
That's really encouraging.
And tell us a little bit about how Allison formed the acronyms for S.E.R.V.E.
Yes, absolutely. So S.E.R.V.E is the motto of our organization. It really is the basis of the mission of our program. And we have 5 points of the crown. So S.E.R.V.E represents each of those. And so S.E.R.V.E stands for scholarship, education, responsibility, volunteerism, and empowerment. And in that acronym, I think it really exemplifies exactly the type of title holders that are a part of our organization. With scholarship, I earned over $50,000 in scholarships when I won Miss Volunteer America. And as of about a week ago, I can officially say that all of my loans are wipe free. I hit zero balance because of Miss Volunteer America. And I have to say I shed a few tears just because I never thought that it would be possible for me to pursue a master's degree and not have to worry about how I was going to pay for it. And thanks to Miss Volunteer America, that's possible. So that kind of leads into the whole education, which is the next point. I believe education is extremely valuable. It's something that no one can ever take away from you. And so I'm excited to be able to pursue a master's of business administration after my year as Miss Volunteer America. But responsibility is the next point, and responsibility as a title holder, it's extremely demanding. It's a job that it definitely takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication to put towards that. And so responsibility comes along with it. And volunteerism is really the heart of this program,
Absolutely is.
as we all know. And so I hope that Haleigh, and as well as all of the other state title holders, really exemplify that. And I know that she will throughout the state, implementing those programs, really emphasizing those national partnerships, because at the end of the day, we all are just here to make a difference in our communities, in our state. So the last point is empowerment. And I think it really is my favorite personally, because if we're empowering one another to believe in ourselves and believe in our dreams, then we're doing the right thing. And that's what this program really is all about.
Haleigh, tell us again about how you felt when the crown went on your head. Let's tell us about your week a little bit as well.
I had the most amazing week. I had recently given up a title for America's Ideal Miss, which is really a full circle moment because Vickie was one of my judges for America's Ideal Miss. And so 2 days later, I came to Virginia to compete, and I truly have had the most amazing week. I've been competing for 12 years now. I've seen a lot of national pageants, a lot of state pageants, and I can truly say there is no better production on a state pageant level than
wow.
Miss Virginia Volunteer. And
Hear that,
I'm not
Christopher?
just blowing smoke.
Yes.
I genuinely mean that.
Oh, wow.
I came up and did a media day where I was surrounded by the best media team who helped me not only capture content for my personal social media, but we did these really cool slow-mos that played behind us
It
in
was
the
awesome.
announcement of top 8, and just like all of those fun little knickknacks that you wouldn't expect that a state pageant would go all in, but you leave the pageant feeling fully invested in by the Runk family and by the Miss Virginia Volunteer Organization. And so if this wasn't my year, I definitely planned on coming back to compete because I had
That's a
the
good
most
thing.
amazing week. Even with the little princesses, we had a PJ party, and I
Yes.
think some of them had like 7 cupcakes. I kid you not. And so they were running around and bouncing off the walls, and it was just so much fun to see how all of them interacted with each other, especially because we do work with the Jubilee Center.
Yes, that's right.
We actually get to go visit them in 2 days.
That's right.
And so I'm very excited to get to go see those kids again and work with them. But Miss Vickie does an amazing job with that, so I'll let her kind of explain that later. But
yeah, we and being a part of the community, and now you coming into this environment and embracing all of our special 501c3s that we invest in as an organization, and pour our, we let our title holders go and share their talents, and you'll have a good time with all those little girls. They're going to welcome you screaming at their front door as well. When they see so many of you coming in, then they're going to really feel like they've entered into pageant land. And it was nice to share the stage with them this year.
it really was. I brought tears to my eyes watching them and watching how proud they were of themselves and these beautiful dresses and getting to have their moment on stage and getting crowned. I know I was sobbing in the audience, and all the girls around me were sobbing, and Berkley was on stage crying, which made me
As the
cry
MC.
even more. And so it was just a really emotional moment that made the whole week so special. But when pageant night actually hit, my nerves were high, as everyone's nerves are. I feel like nerves are there when you want something so bad because you can see the opportunities and the doors that could be open. And so I was very overwhelmed in the moment. I felt very beyond blessed, and now I'm just ready to really head into my year at full throttle and not let my foot up until we reach after nationals.
Right.
Or actually until we crown the next MVP,
right.
because the job doesn't stop after nationals. It
Right.
keeps going until you pass
Very
on the
true.
torch.
Yeah.
Right, and we become family even after
Yes.
you give your crown away. Our previous title holders, all of them were there last night
Yes.
and embracing you immediately, and they've never really met you and never spent any time with you, but they knew that that obligation that you were getting ready to fulfill would be something that would be a memory that would last forever, and no one can take that away from any of us. And we get to know you girls, we embrace you girls, and most title holders that are on a national level wind up in Virginia, and we end up falling in love with
Yes.
you girls as well. And then when we go to nationals, it's like, oh, we can't really think we know you that well.
It was so special to see, though, seeing all of your Miss Virginia Volunteer former title holders come back and really embracing Haleigh. It was special to see because I think I know just how special that sisterhood is, and they know the road that you're about to embark on. And there are going to be things that you face along the way that may be some challenges that they are also familiar
That's
with.
right.
And you'll be able to call them and say, hey, how did you handle this situation? What is the best way to accomplish this goal that I have? How could I do something differently that maybe you wish you would have done? Things like that I think you can really rely on those former title holders because they've already embraced you so well. And I know that they're going to continue to support you.
Absolutely. And I feel like sometimes pageantry gets a bad rap when you don't know a lot about it. And it's like, oh, these girls are bratty, or they're what you see on toddlers and tiaras. And I feel like that is just so far from the truth. Like, just feeling the love from all of the former Miss Virginia volunteers, but also the love from all of the contestants that I competed with. Like, I truly left with a lot of new friends and new sisterhood, and I'm new to the state, so they fully welcomed me with open arms, which I'm very thankful for. So I'm glad that I can now call Virginia home.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly one of the questions I was going to ask. What are some of the most, misconceived ideas about pageants? As somebody, 4 years ago, I knew nothing about pageants.
And you got thrown into
and
it.
I got
Yes, he
thrown.
did.
Mom was like, "Hey, we're going to do this. You're going to support me." I was like, "Absolutely," but I know nothing. I don't know how to jump in and help.
But
And
look where we
it's
are
been
now.
such a
Yes.
fun journey to go
Yes.
on with you. It's been fun to watch the growth. But just speaking about the misconceptions, because I'm blown away by how incredible all you young women are, and the background, and the being able to, there's doctors in the room, and all the college.
The discipline that it
it
takes.
truly is
Yeah.
amazing, and the growth that happens year after year with these contestants, and coming back, gaining skills and speaking skills, and being more poised. It's incredible to watch. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, the misconceptions, you kind of hit on that already, but we're so proud of the Miss Volunteer America program, and the fact that Allison DeMarcus saw in her heart to start this 4 years ago now. And we were just coming into COVID when she decided she was going to kick this off. So we had a year or two that we were struggling to get started, but boy, look at her fly now. And her heart for service is unmeasurable.
It's
Can you
unmatched.
speak to that?
It's
Yes.
unmatched. And I believe that getting to know her, I believe from the outside looking in, you really want to believe that it's real, and it is. And I can attest to that because
100%.
at the end of and yes, I know you can
Yes.
as well, as you are, I'm sure friends with
Yes.
her as well. But after I was crowned Miss Volunteer America, I was able to spend a good bit of time with her and her family and her kids, Madeline and Dylan.
Yes.
And it was just, once again, the family atmosphere and the family culture.
Miss Jane.
I got to go to Miss Jane's house the day after I
Yes.
won, and was treated so well, really like royalty.
Yes.
And not only royalty, but family.
That
And
Tennessee hospitality.
yes, the hospitality. Well, and the Virginia
Yes.
the hospitality has been phenomenal
Well,
as well.
I'm originally from East Tennessee.
No
So I
way.
tell
Miss Vickie.
Allison, there's a little Tennessee in
There
me
you
too.
go. There you go. That must mean something.
It
That must mean
It
something.
must, yeah.
But I can really speak to the culture of this program because, once again, from the outside looking in, it's almost like, wow, that is almost too good to be true.
Yes.
It really is. And
girls are just magnetically gravitating
they
toward this
are,
program.
and they stick around.
Yes.
And they stick around. And I was actually speaking with a young lady last night who was a state teen title holder, and she happened to be at the Miss Virginia volunteer pageant. And she talked about how, Berkley, I want to come back as a Miss right now. I want to jump
wow.
right back
Yeah.
in. And that, it once again attests to the fact that this culture of the program really is exactly what you believe it would be.
Right.
And it comes from the heart of Miss Allison and everything that she's poured into this program, because the girls are reaping the benefits and they're feeling that love and that passion that she has for this organization. And we all are having that same passion and excitement about serving and excitement about getting involved in our communities and our state. And I'm bringing that passion with me everywhere I go because I truly believe in the mission of this program.
Yeah, they chose a good girl when they got you.
Oh, well, thank you. There were so many phenomenal young women from every state, and it was a surreal experience to be
I was
crowned in that
there.
moment.
I watched it.
Oh
was
my
fabulous.
gosh.
It
Well,
was fabulous.
It was a night I'll never forget. Not only the $50,000 scholarship, but a world of opportunities.
That's right.
Kind of like Haleigh mentioned,
Yeah.
when you've worked so hard for something. And for me, my journey has been about 10 years now of working towards this dream of mine. And when I decided to compete for Miss Volunteer America, I decided to compete in Miss South Carolina Volunteer about a year ago. And when I did that, I knew that there would be a world of opportunities to follow if that were to be me. And I knew that if it's meant for you, it's not going to pass you by.
That's exactly right.
And I really do rely on that quote. And I think that for me, when I realized it didn't pass me by, I went full force. I'm one person who, if I'm given an opportunity, I'm going to run with it full force. And I really did that as Miss South Carolina Volunteer. And so going into Miss Volunteer America, that heart, that passion, when you've worked so hard for something, there's a lot of emotions surrounding that. And I will tell you, when I was in the top 5 right before we walked out, this is kind of the behind the scenes that you don't always get to know. So here you go.
That's the best part.
Yes, all the inside. But when I was in the top 5 and we'd all answered our onstage questions, I felt really at peace about where I was at, and I really got to show my heart in that moment in that onstage question. But tears just started flowing before we even went out for crowning, and because you don't know what's going to happen.
But the
in
top
that moment.
5 is such an accomplishment.
It is.
Yes,
And I think
so
that's
many.
where the emotions were
Yes,
coming from.
yes.
Looking at the young women that I was standing next to, I mean, my first runner-up, Alyssa Gallagher, the entire top
Yes,
5. I mean, I could speak to each and every one of them, the entire class of 2024. But regardless, I was honored to be there, and it was a surreal moment that I'll never forget.
That's so sweet. Haleigh, tell us a little bit about your education at Liberty University.
Yeah, so I'm seeking a bachelor's in science of law and policy, and Liberty is a really cool program that I'm pursuing there because I'm able to experience law school without fully going to law school. I had the opportunity this summer to travel abroad to London, and I was there for a month. And while I was there, I had a job interview and got offered my dream job working in global crisis communication. And with that would become a 20-week fellowship in New York, and then moving to London full time and getting to do that for 2 to 5 years before seeing where the Lord would take me next. And in that moment, I was like, I have no idea what to do with my life post-grad. I'm coming up on my senior year of college. I'm seeking also 2 other degrees in public relations and political science. And so this opportunity through Liberty is giving me the opportunity to prepare for law school, to see what the reading courses are going to be like, to give me the tools to be successful, but also to experience all the different facets of law that I will be studying to make sure that I do want to pursue law school. I do want to take that next step and turn down the opportunity in London because, I've always wanted to go to law school. Legally Blonde was my inspiration when I was 7, and it just kind of has stuck with me since.
I can see it.
All my friends call me the modern day Elle Woods, and I love it. But a lot of that, I have a huge heart for law. I'm very analytical, very observant in my natural personality. And so that's kind of what drew me to being a lawyer in the first place. So trying to really figure out now what the Lord has in store for me over the next 5 years. And there's a lot of uncertainty, I'm going to be honest. It's very overwhelming. And I'm very nervous taking this next step of my life and not knowing exactly where my foot is going to fall. But I know with this program, I'm going to be fully prepared to make that full-time decision of, am I going to take a gap year and then go to law school, or am I moving to London?
Well, you actually got to tour the law school at Liberty as well.
I did.
And they have a replica of the Supreme Court.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I listened to this podcast called Advisory Opinions, and basically they go over every single Supreme Court decision in layman's terms. I listen to it every single week religiously, so getting to walk in, and one day hopefully we'll get to walk in the U.S. Supreme Court and just
Oh, you will.
One day hopefully.
You will.
Getting to walk and be like, oh my gosh, and then they put the robe on me, and I was in the robe, and I got to sit behind the desk and Chief Justice chair. And I was so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited for you in your educational endeavors because you really are at the right place at the right time, it seems. And the Lord really does lead you in the right direction. And I think that you've planted your feet here for a reason. And no matter if it's law school or whatever opportunity is next, I know that you're going to be set up for success. And
She's a Virginia girl now.
yes, she is. Yes, she is. And I know that the Miss Virginia volunteer team is going to support her in those endeavors. And talk about those scholarships that you won, because I want to hear all those numbers.
Oh my
again.
gosh, $10,000 to Liberty University. So I will definitely be putting that towards my degree. I also got $10,000 of
Miss Virginia Volunteer.
Yes, Miss Virginia Volunteer Scholarship.
Yes. And all kinds of in-kind
absolutely. I know
College,
Roanoke College,
University.
yes.
There's just so many.
Yes.
And
Yes, so
we're
much.
blessed by incredible sponsors. I mean, we wouldn't even be able to do this pageant without just great sponsors that have kind of joined alongside
and
of
Roanoke
us.
College gave everybody on stage $2,000, which I thought was phenomenal.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the new Miss Virginia Volunteer America's team
Yes.
is going to Roanoke College starting in
Fabulous.
the fall, which is so exciting
She
for
gets
her.
scholarship money.
Yes, she does.
So thank you to Roanoke College.
There's also a teen program, so if there's any teens listening.
That's right.
Yes.
We
Well,
start early.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Mom. That we talked about princesses, we talked about teens. Tell us a little bit about all the levels of categories and competitions that these girls can get plugged into.
Well, our Princess program has grown a lot as well, but she gets to go with us to Jackson, and she gets to be with Haleigh on stage, and Miss Allison has a wonderful week of lots of activities for those little girls so that when they do eat 7 cupcakes, we get their energy out before we send them back to the hotel. And then she'll serve with us through the year too. So there'll be plenty of opportunities that the girls will all come together and be involved in different events here in Lynchburg. And so they'll all come back for that. And then we have Miss Spirit of Virginia, who was just crowned in January for the first time, went on to win Miss Teen Virginia USA and just competed at Miss Teen USA, got in the top 20. She gave up her crown last night to her first runner-up at Miss Teen Virginia USA.
awesome.
And so she won Spirit. She's going to be serving for a year. And then Miss Teen Virginia Volunteer will go to Nationals in March. our previous winner won first runner-up down there last year. So we're super,
Awesome.
super
Mia
excited.
Anderson.
Mia
Yep.
Anderson.
So
And
proud
she
of her.
served so
I
well.
watched her compete.
Yeah.
Phenomenal girl.
Yes.
And the Miss Virginia Volunteer girls always bring the heat at nationals.
Yes, they do.
And it's because of the incredible prep team and the sponsors and the support that you guys show your girls is absolutely incredible. And that's a theme that I'm seeing
Right.
nationwide because of the
Absolutely.
teams that have been built in these states, thanks to Miss Allison DeMarcus, who has so graciously asked you guys to jump
Yes.
on board. So
Yes.
thank you for that.
Keith Pittman with Lasting Impressions and all of the formal wear that he provides, the evening wear for our girls that are going to nationals, and
The
a
opening
team
number for all of
opening
us.
number, all the dresses from Keith Pittman there, and it's just been amazing to watch all of these people just rally. It really does take a village for all of you girls, and so so just lots of opportunity, and then of course the Miss title is given to the young lady that has the highest score and most well-rounded. It's not just about one category, and
Right.
it can't just be about the evening gown, or it can't just be about the interview. She has to have all areas of competition that she excels in, because we're going to go to nationals, and we need for her to be able to represent that way. So I think there's just so much opportunity, and it really is all about scholarships. These girls are seeking college scholarships. And what's that mean for us and all of our communities all across the nation? It means we're empowering young women to go into the workforce, to be better at what they're doing, and then to go into the community and make a profound difference.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about being a well-rounded young woman, because this program really does promote that. And it's one of the reasons why I competed in this program to begin with. You talked about the phases of competition that
Yes.
these girls are competing in. And I think these listeners need to know what that would look like. And so you do compete in a private interview, which once again really promotes job readiness and those life skills that you will be applying for a job one day. So might as well get your practice in with these private interviews. So that's 25%.
And the interview questions are based on job readiness. We
Correct.
talked about that in the car.
We
on the way
did.
over. It's not talking about your political views or how you feel about whether the Green Deal needs to go through, or global warming. We're not wasting our time interviewing you girls about that.
No,
We're
no.
talking about job readiness skills
Yes.
that would place you in a Fortune 500 company,
Absolutely.
and for you to exceed and excel in life.
The leadership skills, the growth that you can experience in those few minutes with those judges is incredible. And the private interview is one phase of competition. There's also an evening gown portion of competition, a talent portion of competition. I grew up a dancer, so that was really special
And
to
boy,
me.
can she dance.
Oh, she's an amazing tap dancer.
When they asked me to bring my tap shoes and costume, it was an immediate yes.
Yes,
I was
that's
so
right.
excited to pack that in my suitcase. And then the final competition is fitness and wellness. So the Miss contestants compete in a swimsuit of their choice, and then the teen contestants compete in activewear. And so we really want to promote healthy lifestyles for young women.
And that comes from the idea that if you're disciplined with your eating habits and you're working out, you're pumping your heart,
Yes.
you're doing all the things that helps us live longer
There
in
you
life,
go.
then that means that you're disciplined in other areas of your life.
And the responsibility that comes
Yes.
along with it, coupled with the mission of our program, the discipline, the responsibility, those are all things that will carry you throughout your year as Miss Virginia Volunteer. And I know for me as Miss Volunteer America with that healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Well, Haleigh and Berkley, sadly, this conversation has to come to an end, but it's been a joy to have you both on the show today and join us around the table. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much. This has been so special, and thank you for having us today. It's really been awesome talking with you guys.
As always, Mom, I know you like to end the show with a quote, so the floor is yours.
Okay, girls, we've been talking about volunteerism, so the quote I chose today is about volunteering. Volunteering is an act of heroism on a grand scale, and it matters profoundly. It does more than help people beat the odds, it changes the odds. And that's by our President, Bill Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. And I want to encourage each and every one of you in the community that you live and the people that you pass every day, find a place to give of yourself. Go into those inner cities, go into the food banks, make dog treats for your humane societies. And I promise you, your problems will seem a little smaller each day. Until next time, I'm Vickie Runk, and we'll see you around the table soon.
We've talked about Miss Virginia Volunteer, and it's so exciting. If people would like to know more information or how to join or sign up, Mom, where can they go?
Well, if you're the younger crowd, you just go to social media because, we're all over social media. But if you're a mom and wanting to know more about how to get involved, you go to www.missvirginiavolunteer.com.